Kingdom builders are a strategy game genre that I've been playing for years. Today I want to bring you 8 strategy games, kingdom builders specifically, that I've played in the past that I think are really leading in the genre, and ones that I'm actually looking forward to playing in the future. So are you wondering what kingdom builders you should be playing next, or which ones are the best in class that you maybe want to play again? I'm going to let you know today. First, we're going to take a look at Rise of Kingdoms. This is probably the leader in the space and the one that I've played the most of over the years, having spent probably 3 years of gameplay time inside of the game on multiple accounts. As you can see, it sits with 4.5 stars with 50 million downloads. Now, Rise of Kingdoms started out with the name Rise of Civilizations when it launched years and years ago, quickly changing its name to Rise of Kingdoms, where I covered the game from day one. What made this one different than many others in the space was the ability to have open field combat, so you can control your troops and your armies while they're out in the battlefield. Not all kingdom builders are like that, and to be honest with you, most of them are still not like that to this day. Now, as you can see, I've done many day one journeys here, and I've made my way up to millions and millions of power inside of the game. This game has something that a lot of players like the heroes that you can play as, or like the building element and the attacking element that you have inside of a game like Clash of Clans. I was a Clash of Clans player when I started playing Rise of Kingdoms. And the building element is what brings a lot of people into the game, but to be honest with you, it's very much not just about that. It's very much about working together with alliance mates so that you can come together, protect your land and everything that you've built together, and take over more land, build up stronger realms, and really dominate inside of the game. And now you have KVK, Kingdom versus Kingdom, so you could play against other players and be the most dominant in the land. This game has all of the features, it has all of the things, and is definitely the #1 kingdom builder that we're going to talk about on the list here today, hands down. Next up is State of Survival Zombie War. This one lacks the open field combat, but it brings in a zombie element, and I think it's the best zombie kingdom builder on the list. As you can see, it has 50 million downloads and sits with 4.3 stars. And this is another game that I played quite a bit of in the past. Let's look at some old footage. As you can see, this was me years back building up my base from the beginning. Another one that has that huge base mechanic. And honestly, this is one of the more popular kingdom builders in the space and one of the more OG ones, along with Rise of Kingdoms. But here, as I said, you're building up your base and doing all the things that you like to do, but you're doing it in a zombie-filled world. You need to come together with others, take down things in the open world without the open field combat, mind you. When you send out troops on war expeditions and tasks to do, well, there's no controlling them once they're out there. This game has some really cool heroes as well, and I actually like the whole aura of the game, the characters, the realm, the zombies, better than everything that's offered in Rise of Kingdoms, but the gameplay itself was a little bit lacking compared. I'd recommend this one to you if you're someone that's looking for a kingdom builder in a zombie world. If that's you and that's your main concern, this is your best option. All right, Call of Dragons, made by the same makers of Rise of Kingdoms. This is probably the best kingdom builder on the list today, but definitely not the most popular, sitting with 5 million downloads and 4.4 stars. Now, I was covering this game when it came out, and I thought this was going to be the newest and best thing. The graphics are better than any other games, the combat's better than any other games, the whole element of the game has improvements everywhere. But it brought in the element of, do I want to stop playing the game I've been playing for 2, 3, 4 years that I've invested time and money into to start playing a new one? And I think the answer was no. A lot of people stuck with Rise of Kingdoms and games like State of Survival and maybe messed around a little bit with Call of Dragons, but didn't go hard into it. And then they had a season reset element, so any progress you made in the season, much of it would be lost and have to be started over at the beginning of the next season. I did not like this mechanic. My favorite mechanics inside of this game were the ranged combat, aerial combat, and just combat in general. It excels here in Call of Dragons. I still do think that this is the best kingdom builder, but by far not the most popular one. So if you're looking for something that has some great gameplay and definitely does have community, this is your jam right here. but it's not going to stack up to something like Rise of Kingdoms. At least not now, and I don't know that it's ever going to get there. Lords Mobile. 500 million downloads with 4.5 stars. This one is the OG of the bunch, the first one ever. And funny thing is, this was not my OG. My OG is Rise of Kingdoms. This is a game that I only dabbled lightly inside of. This was before I even understood how kingdom builders worked, and I was just messing around with another strategy style game and really not learning a ton about it. But there's something to be said about the leader in the space that started first and that had a massive following. 500 million downloads is absolutely insane. So I got to give some respect to a game that has that kind of number and that type of commitment to time. With that being said, it's not the most popular now. The one that's probably the most popular on the charts right now is Whiteout Survival. Yeah, I know, I just covered it in the channel a couple of weeks ago. 10 million downloads, 4.2 stars. But the game is one of the top strategy games right now. And here I was given my impressions of the game. I thought it was pretty cool. What it really makes it stand out is obviously, well, the snow. No, not only the snow. Obviously, it's brought to us in a world, a realm that's very white, snow, wintry, but it's also in vertical format, lending itself very well to being a game that's for casual players. You could kick back and you could play it just like this, with the thumb and get the work done. So why is this one, in my opinion, not the best? I hated the amount of swiping I needed to do to play this game. I thought it had some good features. I thought it had some good elements to it, but the amount of swiping that I had to do just to move around my base was overly extensive. It was just too much for me to find enjoyment in it. So I decided to stop playing it for that reason. With that being said, it is the most popular. It's the only one that's in vertical format, so if you're looking for a vertical style game that actually looks pretty good, probably better than some of the others, and you don't mind a few extra swipes, Whiteout Survival's your jam. Alright, so the newest one, Age of Empires Mobile. 1 million downloads and only 3.8 stars. Why did it only get 3.8 stars? I wonder. Well, I'd also covered this game on the channel. I took a look at it, and when people see the name Age of Empires, they think, ooh, Age of Empires from days of old. The Age of Empires we loved back in the day on PC. But what they got on mobile is different. As you can see, they're getting something very similar to Call of Dragons, State of Survival, Rise of Kingdoms, Lords Mobile. It is a mobile version of a kingdom builder, which is very pay-to-win heavy. There's a lot of microtransactions inside of the game, and really what you're looking at here is the mobile version of kingdom builders just skinned to Age of Empires. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying the game doesn't play well, doesn't look good, but what I am saying is the people that were looking forward to this game, the veterans and OGs, to the genre and to the space, we're expecting something different. And honestly, they probably should not have been expecting something different. They should have been expecting a kingdom builder that's known on mobile for the way that mobile does kingdom builders. With that said, still quite fun, and I suggest you still try it. Then we have Infinity Kingdom. I actually loved this game. It is one of the lightest kingdom builders on the list here today, but I loved playing it. It only has had 5 million downloads over the last 3 or 4 years with 4.3 stars. Again, let's look at some old footage from when I used to play. Part of me wishes that I never quit playing this game because it really was a lot of fun. But I have to say, guys, what made this one really cool were the dragons. You had pet dragons which you could upgrade, and it made it really a lot of fun for your battles. The open world combat and stuff too was also fun. You did not have free movement in the open world. You'd send them out in the task, they'd do the task and come back. But the dragons themselves in these stages were quite fun, and the heroes were quite fun as well. I actually, to be fair, probably enjoyed Infinity Kingdom more than Rise of Kingdoms and Call of Dragons, even though it's not as built out of a game and it doesn't have as much depth. But man, I loved these heroes. I loved how we upgraded them, and I had so much fun with this game. I mean, thinking right now, like looking at all this fun stuff, if there were one that I would dive into again, it would be this one. And this one is not even, if you're looking at it from what does the game offer, This one doesn't even offer the most, but there's just something about it. I mean, check out these dragons. These dragons were so awesome, and you would take different types of dragons and you would put them with different types of armies based off of the elements that the dragons had. Really a cool mechanic that we don't see happening in any other of the games. And I like dragons. I think they're cool. I just really enjoyed this. And again, this is the one that I would have gone back to and played again. I actually could probably log into my account and pick up where I left off. The problem is I don't know how strong the player base is to this day. And unfortunately, it's probably the weakest of most of the games here on the list. And then we have Grand Gangster War. Yeah, I'm going here with this one. This thing has 500,000 downloads, 4.4 stars. It's not even out yet on iOS. And they actually reached out to me to do a sponsored video, which I will have coming in the future. But it got me looking at the game, and it does kingdom builders in a very different way. So if you think of Grand Theft Auto, and you take Grand Theft Auto and you put it inside of a kingdom builder, well, you have a bunch of crime, money, sex, drugs, violence, and all of that type of stuff. That's what you're looking at inside of this game. Now, I have yet to dive in and play it, but I will be putting out a video on this channel in the next few weeks. It will be a sponsored video featuring this game, and I'm going to give you my true impressions of it. Do I think it's a lot of fun? I actually like it more than the Greek and Roman stuff. But at the end of the day, we'll see how it actually plays as far as gameplay. Although the theme may be more exciting for some people, is the gameplay there? Is the combat mechanic there? Is the kingdom builder element done well inside of the game? We're going to determine that soon in that upcoming video, but this is one I wanted to point out because it was just so different than any of the others. Now, if you want to see that video, if you want to stay up to date on what mobile games to play, or if you just love strategy games or hanging out with me, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out my next video.